Okay, so I don't want to take it away from you, but guys, one of the most mature and well-planned wholesaling operations in town, Mr. Brian Spitz. Take it on.
Again, my name is Brian Spitz. I'm the owner of Big State Home Buyers, and we wholesale a lot of properties. So I prefer not to share the number, but we do a lot of wholesale operating in Houston. We also renovate houses. I'm personally a landlord, so we do pretty much every type of investment real estate that you can do. I don't do short sales, and I also own a residential retail brokerage. So I've seen every kind of investment deal you can do, and I've tried my hand at most every one. And my favorite kind is wholesaling. I've done wholesaling since 2006, and I'm really good at it. And what makes us really good at it is that we, like Jason, we're really good with the sellers. So we really focus our attention on how to build relationships with people, both with investors, with private money lenders, also with sellers. Because what I found over time is that, this is one of our secrets, although it's really not a secret, is that these are, you think that your sellers are one-time customers, and they're really not. That's the way I always looked at it for years, is that, it's a one-time customer. People don't get in a jam where they have to sell a house for half of what it's worth more than once in their lifetime. And that's not true. It does happen more than once. But more than that, it's also the power of a referral, and it's the power of a referral. And that's a really big push in our business right now. This past year, we saw a huge percentage relative to the cost of referral marketing, which is next to nothing. The return on investment for that is huge. But about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I got a call from a realtor that I've worked with before, and again, maybe it's a shortcoming of ours, but we haven't done a lot of direct work with realtors. I had lunch with someone else in the room today that said that he works to groom realtors and build relationships with them so that they can send him referrals. This realtor works for a small credit union that rarely takes foreclosures back. And so when they do get foreclosures, when they do take a house back, she gives me a call. And it's been about 2 years since I've heard from her, but she called me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I could go take a look at a property for her. The great thing about working with small banks, both to borrow money as well as to dispose of assets, is they make their decisions in committees. And they make their decisions in Houston. It's not going overseas. It's not going through 82 underwriters. That's why I very, very rarely do short sales, because it's just more time than it's worth. But this is a great seller to work with, because we just they take our offer to their committee. We send them our numbers for the rehab and appraisal, and they make a decision. And we were actually going to buy this property to renovate the deal, but I'm very picky and I don't love remodeling. And so the other secret that I have is that I do this because I really enjoy working with people to help solve their problems. So I'm going to put myself on video saying that real estate itself is not really my greatest passion. It's actually being able to sit down with sellers and fix problems that other people can't fix, whether it's title issues or getting them to a solution. And so renovating properties, we do plenty of it, but it's kind of a means to an end for us. See a picture of the property, which is in Sagemont, Sage Meadow, Sage whatever. It's in 77089. We do a lot of tracking for our marketing, and this is not the greatest of our incoming lead sources, but it's one of our highest closing zip codes. So for whatever reason, that whole Sage City, I don't know if you guys know where that is. It's over at 45 South in the Beltway, outside the Beltway. Do it?
They're Black Hawk.
Yeah, they're Black Hawk. That's its own. Right, a lot of it's owned to Pasadena, if not all of it, Pasadena ISD. We've closed a lot of deals there, so I don't know what it is, but our closing ratio right there is very high. The property had really bad foundation problems. It sloped way back in the back, needed a new roof and a complete update. But what was the two things that were interesting about this transaction, number one, is that we did acquire it from a realtor, which was through a referral for previous service we've provided. And so that's that's not your everyday thing in my particular business, because we do so much direct marketing. The other thing that was really interesting is that we double closed this property. And I don't know, how many of you are not familiar with double closes or pass-through closings? Pretty much everyone's familiar with them. You don't do a lot of them anymore. Back when I first started doing this, it was pretty common. Most title companies would let you basically buy and sell the property at the same closing table using the end buyer's funds to fund the whole transaction. So you're not actually doing any transactional funding. And so it's not common that people do that anymore. That there's a lot of tightening up on that in the title companies. And title companies, like credit lenders, have loosened up a little bit since the market has gotten better. But because of the relationship we have with the title company, and well, backing up a little bit, the banks will not allow you to assign your contracts. So we had to agree when we contracted it, we could not use and/or assigns in the contract. Which was fine because I thought that I would buy it. But, so what I had to do was actually buy and immediately resell it. And this title company not only let us use the end buyer's funds to close the transaction on our end, they also helped kind of craft the disclosure letter to the bank that was a little ambiguous, perfectly clear in that we were reselling the property, but a little bit friendly on our end so that it didn't cause a lot of red flags, because the same bank that wouldn't want you to assign the property probably wouldn't have wanted us to use their title policy to pass through for one closing. So, and I think that we ended up making, at the end of the day, like $14,000 or $15,000. It was like 14,502 something is what we walked away with. And so,
is it okay to ask which title company is that?
Yeah, this one is an Artland title, which is not one of the ones that we use all the time, but it's over on Memorial. And the escrow agent's name is Brenda Nito. And you want to find really qualified escrow officers in title companies. It's not an ancillary, small thing. Your your escrow officer is, although they're neutral parties, or supposed to be neutral, they really look after their repeat clients and their repeat business, and you want to get somebody that's seasoned, that understands.
Impartial
third party. Yes.
So while we're waiting for this to boot up, and I apologize for this, Brian, could you talk to us a little bit about your business? I know that you guys do a large volume of transactions. In the current market, where are you finding the crux of your deals, if you can share that?
Sure.
If you don't mind repeating the question, please.
So your question was, in the current market, where are we finding the bulk of our deals? Okay. It's very similar to what Jason said. This is basically, for us, a function of how much money you put into the machine is how much you get out. So we spend a tremendous amount of money marketing, and that's what generates our leads back. And so we do marketing, internet marketing. We do a lot of organic marketing. We, of course, have paid ads. We pay a lot to maintain those. But we also do a lot of social media and blogging and videos, and we're videotaping this now. So we put, I've had Allison is my marketing coordinator. She's awesome. She has an assistant, and all they do is create content that helps our authority on the internet. So that's, frankly, that's our biggest source of leads. Beyond that, we do some print advertising, some direct mail. We've done TV commercials. We've tried different things, and we're always kind of changing up our marketing plan. So we have a marketing plan that's set a year in advance, broken up by quarter.
Have you done an analysis to see what percentage of your deals actually coming through social media, if I may ask?
Yeah, we don't. So social media, and I have closed some deals.
So we don't measure. We don't measure social media so much as we measure organic. We get leads from organic, but we can't measure. It's hard to measure social media. So
it's hard to measure in particular one. It's a total package of creating a presence and an authority in the internet marketing, in the marketplace.
Last question, and we're almost ready for you. On the current market, what is your take? Is there a certain range of ARV? Like, I know that almost everybody right now has adjusted their business based on the current market conditions. 70% ARV repairs is a nonsensical rule these days.
Yeah.
But what are you seeing in the market on the buy side?
It's not a great time to be a buyer, I'm not going to lie, and I will tell my clients this when they buy from us. And it's, for whatever reason, when it becomes a seller's market, that's when everybody wants to become a buyer. And so, it's gotten really difficult, and we compete. There's a lot of competition in the marketplace, and that drives the price, the prices we have to pay up. And buyers are, there's hedge funds and private equities and private people that will pay 85 cents on the dollar. There's a major group out there, in the city that pushes people to pay up to 92 cents on the dollar less repairs. I mean, that's not a lot of money. That's almost retail. And so it's very difficult to, in order to compete with that and to stay on top, or as aggressive as possible in the business, it's 80 cents on the dollar for a rental is not uncommon to me at all. 70, 75 cents on the dollar for a flip. If you can do better, great. We try, of course. I think that everyone's just kind of waiting to see what happens, how much longer the market will stay at this price. I mean, one of my properties has an ARV of 152. It's my most recent acquisition that I kept, and it rents for $15.95. And so, obviously, I'm into it for a good bit less than 152. So that's a really huge return on your investment. And so even somebody who's used to getting great deals, you can't help but look at that and be willing to pay top dollar for it. Yes.
What kind of position are you taking with these sellers? You tell them, okay, well, we're looking to find you a buyer, or you tell them, hey,
well,
wholesaler, or you tell them,
we will,
buy your house?
we will. And so I found over the years, it used to be that we would just tell people we're buying your house, even if we weren't, and we'd leave it at that. It would create confusion. We need to show your house, or see it again, show it to people, blah blah blah. That is the way that the old school way of wholesaling that I learned with listening to Ron McGrain CDs. That's what I did. And so as we've evolved, we have started telling people, and we'll present multiple offers to them. So we will present an offer that's, we'll close this in 7 days. This is the one that, I think, is a stretch. And so I'm not 100% certain I can get this for you, but I'm willing to show it to our buyers, our investors, and we'll put an option in the contract and let the seller know this is what we're doing. I mean, when that happens, we're just very clear, and it's amazing, if you're just transparent with the sellers, they just want the house sold, and you're the expert, and so this is about being the expert, and that's what, coming to these things, getting education, meeting people, networking, getting out there, it's all about building your authority. And so the more you can stand up and be an authority to the people you're talking to, the more confidence they'll have in giving you their business. Sure.
What's your major, decision whether you're going to wholesale one or keep?
Can you repeat the question?
What's the major decision about whether we're going to wholesale one or keep one? A lot of it is the days on market, in the area, how many others that I'm rehabbing at the same time. I really don't like to do more than about 3 rehabs at the same time, just because it's not my focus, so I don't have like a back-end system for that. I contract that out. But, and I have a minimum. My minimum is $30,000, so if I can't clear $30,000 on it, I don't typically do it, because that cushion evaporates pretty easily. So 30 is 25 really easily, or 35 if you get lucky, and 15 if the worst day happens. I mean, I was telling somebody today, if you can look at the worst case scenario and live with that, then, proceed. All right. Well, thanks very much.
But how can they engage with you?
Oh, yes.
The next slide.
You can go to our website, bigstatehousedeals.com, which is a website that's focused on for investors, where you can find some of our investment property for sale. And we also, our main website, of course, is bigstatehomebuyers.com.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.